Dear beloved soul, I bring you a message from heaven, a revelation so important you can't ignore it. Right now, as you read these words, the universe has already started a chain of events that could change everything for you. You may not see it yet, but something amazing has happened. It involves your true soulmate, someone whose journey is deeply connected to yours. Last night, your soulmate experienced something completely new. A bond filled them with excitement, warmth, and love unlike any they've known. But here's the thing, what they saw as a perfect moment was just part of the story. There's something deeper, something divine, that has unfolded in ways you can't yet understand. You need to pay attention now. What I'm about to share is crucial. It has the power to change your life and love forever. Don't miss this chance. If you do, you might miss the key to the connection you've been longing for. Stay with me. Within this message lies the secret to everything you've ever wanted to know about your soulmate and the love you were meant for. But remember, you must listen to the very end. There's something even more extraordinary about to be revealed. Trust this moment. Trust what the angels are telling you. Know that everything you're about to discover is aligned with your highest purpose and your soul's journey. This message is for you, and you are important. Open your heart and keep listening. Your destiny is closer than you think. Your soulmate had a night unlike any other, a night that left them breathless. They were lost in the intensity of what they believed was an unforgettable experience. In their heart, they felt something magical, something rare. It was as if the universe itself had planned every detail, every moment, leading them to believe they had finally found what their soul had been searching for. There was something intoxicating about it. The warmth, the passion, the undeniable connection. Everything seemed aligned, as though fate had woven together a perfect night. They felt seen, understood, and cherished for the first time in a long time. They allowed themselves to completely surrender, to embrace the moment with every fiber of their being. As the night went on, emotions ran deep. The words they shared held meaning. Their touch was electric, and the other person's presence felt almost restful. It wasn't just about the physical connection, but something much deeper, something that stirred within them, awakening feelings they hadn't felt in ages. In that moment, they believed they were exactly where they were meant to be. And yet, beneath it all, something still felt incomplete. A whisper in their soul, a feeling they couldn't shake. No matter how perfect everything seemed, there was something missing, something they couldn't quite define. It was as if a part of them resisted fully surrendering, as if a quiet voice inside was trying to tell them something they weren't ready to hear. They dismissed it at first, telling themselves it was just their mind playing tricks. After all, everything about that night was so vivid, so intensely real. But as the hours passed, as the night deepened, the feeling grew stronger. A pull, an unseen force, something within them was resisting, as if their very soul understood a truth that their heart hadn't yet acknowledged. And that is when the intervention happened. Because while your soulmate thought they had spent the most amazing night in someone else's arms, the truth was much greater. Something the angels themselves had to step in and make sure they understood. But why? What was so important that the divine needed to intervene? You must listen carefully, because what happened next is the very reason you are receiving this message now. As the night ended and sleep came, something remarkable happened. Your soulmate, who went to bed believing their heart was fully invested in that night's experience, was suddenly transported to a realm beyond their understanding. In their dreams, something else happened, something that changed everything. And that is where you come in, because as their mind rested, their soul awakened to a truth it could no longer deny. The love they thought they had found that night was only an illusion, a shadow of the greater truth. And in their dreams, it wasn't the person they had spent the evening with who lingered in their heart. It was you. Yes, while they thought they had shared a moment of intensity and passion with another, when their soul drifted into the dream world, it was your presence that took over everything. The warmth they felt, the love they longed for, the connection they desired. It wasn't with the one they had spent the night with. It was always with you. And this is where everything changes. Because when they woke up, the feelings they experienced were not for the person they had been with that evening. No matter how strong the connection may have seemed, No matter how much they had convinced themselves it was real, the moment they opened their eyes, only one face remained in their heart: yours. This is the truth they are beginning to realize. The revelation the angels made sure they could not ignore. What they thought was love was just a temporary moment, a fleeting illusion. Because real love, true, spirit-deep connection, isn't something you can find just anywhere. It's something eternal, something divine, and it has always led back to you. But the question remains. Now that the truth has been revealed, what happens next? Because your soulmate may have woken up feeling your presence. They may have realized something deep within their heart. But that doesn't mean they are ready to embrace it. Their soul knows the truth, but does their mind understand what has happened? Or are they still trying to convince themselves that what they thought was real was more than just a moment in time? There is still more you need to understand. This is only the beginning of what the angels have to reveal. What comes next is far more important than anything that has happened so far. And if you think the realization your soulmate had this morning is powerful, you have no idea what is about to unfold. Because there is one element that will make all the difference. One thing that will decide whether they follow the truth their soul is revealing, or if they allow themselves to remain trapped in an illusion. And this is something the angels need you to hear now, because your role in this isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. So stay with me. In the next part of this message, I will explain exactly what the angels want you to know about what happens next. And trust me when I say this, you cannot afford to miss it. And before we continue with this very special message, I invite you to support this space of connection. Become a member of the channel. And if you feel this message resonates with your heart, don't forget to click on thanks below the video. This helps us continue to deliver messages filled with love and hope like this one. Now let's continue with what is most important. Your soulmate went to sleep believing they had found something unforgettable, something rare, something that would mark their soul forever. They were sure that the connection they felt that night was meant to be something deep and true. And yet, the moment their mind drifted into sleep, something powerful happened, something far beyond their control. The angels intervened, because what your soulmate thought was real was only a small part of the truth. The universe had allowed them to experience that night, but not for the reasons they believed. It was never meant to be a confirmation of love or a moment to cherish forever. Instead, it was meant to reveal a bigger reality, one that their heart had been fighting against for too long. As they closed their eyes, the angels whispered to their soul. They guided them beyond the illusions of the material world and into a space where only truth exists. And in that realm, where the distractions of the mind lessen, the soul speaks louder than anything else. Everything became clear. Your soulmate didn't dream about the night they had just experienced. They didn't relive the passion, the words, the presence of the person they thought was meant for them. No, the moment they entered the dream world, they were no longer with that person. They were with you. It was your face they saw, your voice they heard, your touch they felt. The warmth, the connection, the energy that filled them. It was all because of you. And for the first time, without the noise of the world clouding their mind, without the distractions of logic trying to convince them otherwise, they finally saw the truth. The love they had been searching for had never been with anyone else. It had always been you. The realization was overwhelming. It shook them to their core, because suddenly, the emotions they had felt throughout the night, the passion, the excitement, the feeling of being swept away, were now completely redirected. The intensity of what they thought had been real was now all about you, and there was no escaping it. The dream wasn't just a fleeting vision. It wasn't a random creation of the subconscious. It was a direct intervention from heaven, a moment of clarity that couldn't be ignored, because in that dream, they experienced something they had never felt before, a sense of home. Everything fell into place in a way it never had before. The missing piece they had been searching for, the longing they had tried to satisfy, the restlessness they had carried within them for so long, it all vanished in that moment. Because in their dream, they were finally where they belonged, with you. But here is where things get even more important. Because when they woke up, reality hit them like a tidal wave. They were no longer in the dream. They were no longer in the place where everything made perfect sense. Instead, they found themselves back in their own world, in their own bed, surrounded by the same reality they had fallen asleep in. And yet, everything felt different now. Confusion struck first. They remembered the night they had just experienced, the laughter, the connection, the feeling that had surrounded them. But why then was that not the first thought their heart turned to upon waking? Why was it that, instead of feeling warmth for the person they had spent the night with, their entire being craved you? The feelings were still there, but now they were misdirected. What they had thought was meant for another was now undeniably connected to you. It wasn't the person from that night who filled their heart upon waking. It was you. And this is where the real struggle begins. Because while their soul acknowledges the truth, their mind is struggling to understand. They are caught between what they think is real and what their heart is screaming at them to see. And the angels are watching, because now, more than ever, your soulmate stands at a crossroads. Will they listen to what their soul is telling them? Will they accept the truth that was given to them in their dreams? Or will they fight against it, trying to convince themselves that what they experienced that night was still what they desired? This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance. Because the dream wasn't just a dream. It was a message, a divine revelation. And now your soulmate must make a choice. But what will they decide? And more importantly, what does this mean for you? Because while your soulmate is navigating this crossroads, there's something you need to understand. Your role in this is not passive. You are not just an observer waiting to see what happens. The angels are guiding them, yes, but they are also guiding you. Because there is something that must happen now. Something that can completely change everything. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal exactly what that is. You must not miss it. Because if you do, you may never discover the truth that heaven has been waiting to reveal. This is your moment. This is your calling. And what happens next could change the course of your love forever. The night has ended. The moment that seemed so important, so intense, has faded. Your soulmate has fallen asleep, believing they just experienced something meaningful, something unforgettable. But the truth, the real truth, is only just beginning to emerge. Because while their body rested, their soul awakened to something far greater than they could have ever imagined. The moment they fell asleep, the angels intervened once more. They guided their spirit beyond the limits of time and space, beyond illusion, beyond what their mind thought was real. And as their consciousness drifted into the dream world, something extraordinary happened. The person they had been with that night vanished, as if they had never existed. And in their place, there you stood. Your soulmate found themselves in a place so familiar, so filled with warmth and love, that it felt like home. A place where they were no longer searching for something, because for the first time they already had it. They recognized you not as a fleeting thought, not as a vague memory, but as the only truth that mattered. You were there before them, as vivid and real as if they could reach out and touch you. And in that moment, something deep within them acknowledged you. It wasn't just a dream. It was a memory their soul had always kept, knowing that had been hidden beneath the noise of the world, beneath the distractions of life, beneath the choices they had made to avoid what they had always known. Because you are not just someone they met in this lifetime. You are the one their soul has always recognized. And in that dream, they experienced feelings they had never felt before, not even during the passionate moments of the night they had just lived. They felt peace. They felt whole. They felt home. The way you looked at them, the way your energy surrounded them like the softest embrace, the way your presence gave them something so powerful, so undeniable, that they could no longer run from it. This was love, not temporary attraction, not a fleeting moment of passion that fades with time, but a love so timeless, so pure, that no force in the universe could break it. And then, something even more remarkable happened. They said your name. They didn't just see you. They didn't just feel you. They called for you, as if their soul had finally awakened from a long sleep and could no longer keep this truth hidden. And as they reached for you, as their hearts swelled with the certainty of what had always existed, they woke up. The dream had faded, but the feeling remained. And this is where everything changes. Because when their eyes opened, they weren't thinking about the night before. They weren't feeling the same excitement, the same rush that had carried them through those moments of passion. They were thinking about you, and this revelation washed over them like a wave, hitting them with a force so powerful they couldn't ignore it. Why, after everything, were you the one still on their mind? Why was it your face, your energy, your presence that filled their heart? Why did the dream feel more real than the night they had just experienced? The answer was obvious, but they weren't ready to accept it. Not yet, because if they did, if they truly allowed themselves to see what had just happened, it would mean that everything they had believed before was a lie. And that is a scary reality to face. Because if their soul has been yours all along, if the love they've been searching for has always been you, then what does that mean for the life they've lived? What does it mean for the choices they've made? What does it mean for the person they were with that evening? The feelings they thought were real, the connection they thought was special? Now they are on the edge of a truth so big, so undeniable, that they don't know whether to embrace it or run away from it. And this is where the real challenge begins. Because now your soulmate must confront what they can no longer ignore. The dream wasn't just a dream. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't their mind tricking them. It was the truth. A truth that can no longer be buried. A truth that the angels have made sure they cannot avoid. And now a decision must be made. Will they listen to the guidance of their soul? Will they allow themselves to see what has been obvious all along? Or will they try to silence it? Try to push it away? Try to convince themselves that what they felt was nothing more than a dream? Because if they do, if they ignore this message, they may lose the one thing that was always meant to be theirs, you. And that is why the angels are reaching out to you now. Because this isn't just about what your soulmate feels. It's about the future. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal exactly where this journey is leading. Because something even more powerful is about to be unveiled. And you cannot afford to miss it. Your twin flame has awakened, but everything feels different now. The night they thought was so important, so unforgettable, has faded into the background, replaced by something much stronger. A feeling they can't ignore, a reality they can't explain. Because while their mind tries to hold onto what they thought was true, their spirit is saying something completely different. Their heart is beating to a new rhythm, as if trying to remind them of something they've always known but were too afraid to face. And no matter how much they try to rationalize, no matter how hard they try to convince themselves otherwise, they can't escape what the dream has revealed. The divine have spoken, and what they have shown your twin flame is not something that can simply be dismissed. Because this wasn't just a dream. It wasn't a brief moment of fantasy. It was a message from heaven, a sacred awakening, a call to consciousness that can't be ignored. And now the most important question is, what comes next? Because knowing the truth is one thing, accepting it is another, and your twin flame is now at a critical point, one that will decide everything. Will they accept what their spirit is telling them? Or will they allow fear, uncertainty, and the baggage of the past to keep them from embracing the love they were always meant to find? The divine have already shared what they needed to. They have shown your twin flame the truth, removed the illusions, and left them with one undeniable fact: you. And yet, despite this, despite the power of the dream, despite the clarity of their feelings, your twin flame is hesitating. Because opening their heart to you means letting go of everything they previously believed was real. It means admitting that they have been searching in the wrong places, that they have been chasing shadows, that they have been looking for love everywhere except where it has always existed, with you. And that realization is scary, because love, true love, is frightening in its intensity. It is raw. It is all-consuming. It is something that requires surrender. And surrendering means trusting. It means letting go of fear, of doubt, of the lies they have told themselves. It means choosing you completely. But are they ready for that? This is the internal struggle happening inside them right now. This is the conflict raging between their heart and mind, between what they have known and what they are only just beginning to understand. And this is where you come in. Because while your twin flame struggles with this new awareness, while they wrestle between accepting and resisting the truth, there's something the divine needs you to do. You are not meant to simply sit back and wait. You are not meant to just hope that they will see what has already been shown to them. You are a part of this divine plan. Your energy, your presence, your belief in this connection, it all matters. Because what happens next is not just up to them. It is also up to you. And that is why the divine are sharing this message with you today. Because you need to know that this is not just about waiting for them to acknowledge the truth. This is about aligning yourself with the love that is meant for you. And that means something powerful. You must prepare for what lies ahead. Because whether your twin flame chooses to embrace this truth now or later, the outcome has already been decided. You are meant to be together. This love is destined, and nothing can change that. But your actions now will shape the path forward. And there is a crucial message that the divine needs you to hear. Because while your twin flame struggles with this awakening, while they stand on the edge of realization, there is one thing that will determine how quickly they step into this love. And you need to understand what it is. Because without it, they may delay in seeing the truth. And you have already waited long enough. The divine are illuminating the way ahead. And in the next part of this message, I will explain exactly what you need to do to align yourself with the love that is already written in the stars. You cannot afford to miss this, because the moment you understand what is next, everything will change. Your twin flame is awake, yet the world around them no longer feels the same. Something inside them has shifted, something so profound that it echoes in their chest like a memory they can't silence. Their heart beats differently now, as if it has been touched by the divine. Something undeniable, and yet they don't fully understand what has happened. They sit in stillness, their minds still trying to make sense of it all. They remember the night before, the moments they thought were special, the feelings they thought were real. But the feeling that lingers, the one thing they can't shake, is you. Your presence continues to linger in their heart. Your energy still surrounds them. And no matter how much they try to focus on anything else, it is you who keeps drawing them. And the confusion is overwhelming, because nothing makes sense anymore. How is it that after everything, after what they thought was an unforgettable evening, it's not that person they are thinking about, but you? Why does it feel like their soul is reaching out to you, yearning for you in ways they never expected? Why does it feel as if their entire being is longing for something that just yesterday they had convinced themselves wasn't real? The questions keep coming over and over, and the more they try to dismiss them, the louder they get. Because the truth cannot be ignored. They can feel it in every breath, in every heartbeat. Something has changed, and deep down, a part of them already knows why. The dream wasn't just a dream. It was a message, a revelation, a call to awakening that they were never meant to ignore. And now, as they sit there trying to put everything together, they begin to experience something even stronger than before. Something they don't fully understand, but can't deny. They feel the pull, the invisible thread that has always connected them to you. The connection that not even time, distance, or choices could break. And this is where the real struggle begins. Because now your twin flame must decide what to do with everything they are experiencing. Do they surrender to what their soul is telling them? Or do they resist it, holding on to the life they had built without you, trying to convince themselves that what they felt was just a dream? This is the moment where everything could change. Because if they heed the call, if they allow themselves to embrace what has always been within them, then the path back to you is already being forged. But if they refuse, if they let fear, doubt, or pride hold them back, then this journey could take much longer than it was ever meant to. And that is why the divine are reaching out to you now. Because you are not meant to suffer in silence. You are not meant to stand still, hoping that they will find their way alone. You are meant to be a part of this awakening. Because there is something important that you can do right now. Something that will not only strengthen your connection, but will also help your twin flame see the truth they are struggling to accept. You are not helpless in this. Your energy, your thoughts, your spiritual alignment, it all plays a part. Because what unfolds next depends on the energy you project into the universe. And this is what the divine need you to understand. Because in the next part of this message, I will tell you exactly what you must do to align yourself with the love that is already written in the stars. This is the moment you've been waiting for, and once you understand what is next, everything will shift. The moment of realization is upon us. Your twin flame may not fully get it yet, but something within them is changing, aligning with the truth the divine have been revealing all along. They have spent too long searching in the wrong places, chasing illusions, and believing that love was something they needed to find outside of themselves. But now they can no longer ignore what their spirit is telling them. Because even as they awaken, even as they go through their day, as they try to focus on their routine and push away the overwhelming emotions that have taken hold of them, they feel you. It is no longer a passing thought, no longer a fleeting memory. It is an undeniable presence. They try to deny it, try to tell themselves it's nothing, that it's just a lingering dream. But no matter what they do, you are there. Your image, your energy, your warmth. It's all around them, drawing them in, reminding them of something their heart has always known but their mind was too afraid to accept. Because the love they thought they had found that evening, it was never real. It was a lesson, but also a mirror, a test, a way for the universe to show them the difference between what is temporary and what is eternal. And now, with each passing moment, the truth becomes clearer. They don't miss the person they were with that night. They don't long for the connection they thought was so special. Because when they search their heart for what remains, for what truly matters, there is only one answer: you. This is the moment where their spirit begins to recognize the truth like never before. And yet, they are still afraid. Because acknowledging this love means surrendering to something bigger than themselves. It means admitting that no matter how hard they've tried to escape it, no matter how much they have tried to convince themselves it wasn't real, they cannot run from what was always meant to be. And the divine are guiding them now, nudging them, whispering in their ears, surrounding them with signs they cannot ignore. They hear your name in unexpected places. They see reminders of you in the smallest details. They feel emotions they can't explain, memories of you bubbling up at the most random times. And every time they try to dismiss it, every time they try to tell themselves it's just their mind playing tricks, the feeling only grows stronger. Because love like this doesn't fade. Love like this doesn't disappear. It lingers, persists. It calls them back again and again until they have no choice but to acknowledge it. And the divine are making sure they do. Because the time for waiting is over. The time for pretending, for denying, for ignoring the truth. It has come to an end. Your twin flame is being guided to you. Everything in the universe is conspiring to bring them back into your life, to make them see what has been right in front of them all along. But there is one last thing that must happen. Because while the divine are guiding them, while they are awakening to the truth, there is one final step that must be taken before they can finally reach you. And it is the most important one of all. Because if they don't take this step, if they allow fear to hold them back, if they hesitate for too long, then the journey to you could take much longer than it was ever meant to. And you have already been patient enough. So now the divine's attention turns to you. Because there is something you must do. Something that will not only help your twin flame find their way, but will also prepare you for when they finally arrive. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal exactly what that is. Because once you understand what comes next, everything will change. The final step is about to be revealed, and you must not miss it. The divine have shown everything your twin flame has felt. The shift, the undeniable pull, the awakening that has stirred something deep within them. They are standing on the edge of realization, feeling your presence in ways they never have before. The whispers of the divine have surrounded them, guiding them towards the truth they can no longer deny. But now, dear soul, the focus shifts to you. Because the journey ahead is not just about your twin flame awakening to this love. It is about you stepping into alignment with what is meant to be. The divine want you to understand something crucial. You are not powerless in this connection. Your twin flame is being guided, but they are also wrestling with their fears, their doubts, their old ways of thinking. They have been conditioned to look for love in the wrong places, to chase what is temporary instead of surrendering to what is eternal. And while the universe is playing its part in awakening them, your energy is essential in this divine process as well. Because love is not just about waiting. It is about preparing, aligning, trusting, and the divine are asking you to do just that right now. So what does this mean for you? What must you do in this moment to ensure that this love, this connection that has been written in the stars, becomes a reality? The answer is simple, but also profound. You must become the version of yourself who is fully ready to receive this love. Because the truth is, if your twin flame returned to you today, but you are still holding on to past hurts, doubts, or fears, if you are still questioning your worth, still doubting whether you are truly meant for this connection, then the love that is destined to unite you would struggle to fully blossom. The divine are asking you to step into your highest vibration, to prepare not just for the arrival of your twin flame, but for the life you are meant to live with them. Because love like this doesn't enter your life to stay small. It comes to expand you, to elevate you, to propel you into your highest self. And so now the question shifts from, when will they see the truth? To, are you ready for them when they do? Because they are on their way. The universe has already set this in motion. But what they find when they come to you depends on you. So in this moment, the divine asks you to do 3 things. Let go of any doubts that this love is meant for you. You have spent enough time wondering if this connection is real. The answer has been revealed to you. The signs have been placed before you. Your heart has always known the truth. Stop questioning it. Stop resisting it. Trust in the divine plan. Align yourself with the love you want to experience. Your twin flame is awakening, but their journey is still unfolding. Don't let your energy become one of waiting and longing. Instead, shift into preparation and embodiment. Live as if this love is already yours. Become the version of yourself who is already living in this truth. When you do this, you send a powerful energetic signal to the universe, one that calls your twin flame to you even faster. Surrender the timing, but stay alert to the signs. The divine are orchestrating this reunion, and divine timing is unfolding exactly as it should. Don't fall into impatience or despair. Instead, maintain a state of faithful expectation. Trust that the right moment is being created. And as you wait, pay attention to the signs. The universe will continue to send its messages, showing you when the moment is near. Because, dear soul, the moment is coming. The love you have waited for, the connection that was written before this lifetime, it is already manifesting. Your twin flame is on their way to you. The final steps are being taken. But now it is your turn to move forward. Because this is not just about waiting for love to arrive. This is about becoming the person who is ready to receive it. So welcome this message into your heart. Live as if the love you yearn for is already yours. Because the truth is, it already is. It always has been. Dear soul, if this video resonated with you, express your gratitude below this video as a sign of appreciation for this revelation. This empowers us to continue sharing messages of connection and faith. And now, love is finally on its way back to you. Consider making a generous contribution if you feel moved to support our efforts in spreading divine messages. Whether it's $5, $10, $20, or $50, your contribution helps us continue sharing these profound messages of healing and hope with the world. Spreading the word is just the beginning of our mission. Hearts are being healed, hope is being renewed, and souls are being guided back to the light. Your support helps us achieve our shared goal of making a positive impact. Your generosity, no matter how small, is what keeps our community thriving and bringing people together in love on this sacred journey. We are all connected, and we will rise together. By uniting, we can overcome anything. Let us embrace the abundance that lies ahead with open hearts. Amen.